Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching Fantavision, and today I am discussing how to get a job at GameStop, because surprisingly, I've had this question asked me a lot. I've had so many people ask me, even after they've watched all these videos, even after I tell them what it was like working there, they still want to work there. And I don't completely blame people. There's still a lot of people that still hold on to the belief that it's a really chill job, and at some points that is correct. It definitely has a huge edge over places like Walmart, and I thought I might as well at least help out those that do want to work there. Today I'm drinking Mighty Arrow Pale Ale by New Belgium. Pretty good, tastes like beer. So the first thing you want to do before you work at GameStop is think about it. Think about all the different places that you could work that aren't GameStop. And I mean that in retail in general. If you can find a job that isn't in retail, I highly recommend that. Second of all, think about how you can deal with the general public. Can you deal with the general public? Are you able to talk to people without getting nervous? Can you just go up to a stranger and strike up a conversation? Because that's very important when it comes to GameStop. Third, do you actually know stuff about video games? Very important that you actually know what you're talking about. I know there are people that work for GameStop that have no idea what the hell they're talking about, but I'm telling you, it makes the job a whole lot easier if you play video games and you actually enjoy them. If you don't enjoy video games, why do you want to work for GameStop? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. If you think you're playing video games all day, you're dead wrong. Most of these places don't even have demo units anymore. So you're just stuck in a tiny little store with whoever walks in. And whoever you're working with, you're definitely going to be close to whoever you're working with, because you're only working with usually one other person is normally who you're working with. So you got to be able to deal with whoever you're working with and know that there are going to be some difficult people that you're going to have to deal with, and just be ready for that. So, especially when it comes to customers, there's going to be definitely lots of difficult people when it comes to customers. Another thing, it is a high pressure environment when it comes to sales. So you need to think to yourself, am I a good salesman, or do I think that I could become a good salesman? Because if you don't hit your numbers, if you don't hit your goals, you're going to be getting less hours, you're going to be just getting yelled at a lot, and that's not fun. So think about whether or not you are able to become a good salesman, or if you already are. If you already are, that's great. You're already ready for the environment, because it's going to be all stick, no carrot. Just because you're doing well in sales, good job, you're not getting yelled at. If you're not doing well, get ready to get yelled at and your hours cut. Also, another quick warning before we dive into how to get a job at GameStop. Do know, at least from the time I worked there and people I know that have worked there, they're not competitively paying. This is a company that's on the downslide. It's crashing. It's doing terrible. This is not a job that you're going to be turning into a career, and you need to know that. GameStop's not going to be around forever. GameStop's not going to be around probably for the next 5-6 years. So know that this is an entry-level position that you're probably going to be getting. Don't think that you're going to be some district manager in the future. Don't think that this is a career path. For the love of God, please don't think that way. Game stores just aren't a viable thing anymore, with Amazon giving gift cards, Best Buy giving gift cards, Target has been giving gift cards. There's so much competition that there's no real reason to shop at GameStop anymore unless you're buying an older used game. Now that we've got all of the disclaimers out of the way, if you still want to work at GameStop, here are the best ways. So like I said, you do need to know about video games, because they're definitely going to be asking you about that sort of thing in the interview process. Also, don't just apply online. I know that there are ways to apply online, but you're going to want to go in the store and hand them something. If they tell you it's only online, still, you need lots of FaceTime. And when it comes to FaceTime, another huge way to be successful in getting a job at GameStop is going in there regularly and talking to the employees. I would almost recommend doing that before even applying to the job, so it doesn't seem like you're just doing it to get the job. Try to befriend them in the least creepy way, least annoying way possible. Just go in there regularly, strike up a small amount of conversation. They'll get to know you. And if they like you, you can tell. And if they like you, they're going to remember you. They're going to remember your face. And they're going to remember, hey, this person comes in all the time. They're cool. I wouldn't mind working with this person. I'm going to recommend them for the job. That's how I got my job, because I used to hang out in there all the time just to kill time, or I bought my games all the time there before GCU existed, and it was not a bad place to buy games back then. So I got my job because they knew who I was, because I just kept showing up in there. And another, I think one of the best advice things I could give you to get a job there is apply during the seasonal time, because during the seasonal time they hire on a bunch of people. But the thing is that seems daunting. You're like, oh, well, I'm competing with all these different people. A lot of these people are going to be dropping out of the races. A lot of these people are not going to be showing up the first day. A lot of these people are going to be dropping out because they're going to be overwhelmed because they thought it was just playing games. They're not going to be able to handle the rush. If you prove yourself during this holiday season, you're way more likely to get the job. I'm not saying to only apply during that time. If you keep applying throughout the year, persistency is really key. Persistency is key with any job you want to get. You keep applying, you keep talking to them, you keep coming in. You don't want to bug them, but you also want to let you want to make your presence known to these people. And that's one of the best ways to get a job. So do that with GameStop. This part sucks, but being a regular customer is probably a huge bonus. It really is. Even though you probably don't want to shop there all the time, when you're visiting all the time and you're trying to, have conversations, leaving with nothing each time is not going to look great. So you might have to become a regular shopper of this place. Didn't say it was going to be easy to get the job, but I'm just saying, getting to know these people, having a reason for you coming in, this is the best way to do it. So being a regular shopper of GameStop is definitely a huge way to get an advantage and secure a job. Another way, if you're really desperate to get a job at GameStop, is if you don't care about the location, you have several locations in mind, apply to all of them and try to apply what I'm telling you now to each location. That's going to be a lot. I only applied to one location. I was only a regular one because it was the closest one. So if you're really desperate, that's a way to do it for sure. But I don't know why you're desperate to get a job at GameStop. But, there are benefits. Let's discuss what benefits there are to having a job at GameStop. Of course, you do get that 15% off used games, unfortunately. Not a huge discount. I believe it does stack with the PowerUp Rewards Pro card. So you get close to 25%. I'm trying to remember what the exact thing was. I just know it was a slightly better deal than usual. You of course get to check games out if your location lets you do that. Sometimes there were locations that stopped doing that for a while, but most of them I believe did not care. So that's pretty cool. You'll be able to play games for free. But if you're just looking to play games for free, Redbox is like what, $2 a day, $3 a day? I don't know. I don't think it's worth getting a job at GameStop for. Another thing to keep in mind is, you don't really get bonuses at GameStop. So if you're looking forward to getting bonuses, your raises are very small. But there is an upside, and at least from what I've seen, you can definitely raise the ranks in GameStop fairly quickly if you bust your ass. And most likely, if you're going up the ranks, you're going to have to switch stores. I got a buddy that got super lucky. The assistant manager left close to winning, like a couple months after he started working there. So now he's assistant manager of a store. That's insane. I've heard of so many workers that they're just busting their ass. They're having to prove themselves. They're taking tests. They got to get those surveys. That's another thing you have to worry about when you work there. You have to worry about those fucking surveys. They're awful. And people are way more likely to fill out a survey in a negative way than a positive way. Even reminding them repeatedly. I constantly forget. I want to help these people, but I forget. I take the receipt and I throw it somewhere and I'm like, what did I do with that? I have no idea. Or I just put it on my desk and it's only got 48 hours for you to take it and it's too late. So that's another thing you definitely have to worry about when you start working there. They constantly change the rules. I know that's kind of a norm for retail, but that's another thing you have to worry about. Is they're going to be changing the focuses of what you're selling. They're going to be changing the focuses of the rules, especially because they're in this downturn. When you do get the job, you have to worry about your location getting shut down. I just don't recommend people getting a job at GameStop. I really don't. And I guess if it's a temporary thing, I still would recommend Target because they're paying more than minimum wage. Look at the different places and what they pay. Go to these places, see how the workers look. If they look miserable, you probably don't want to work there. But if your GameStop is chill, you know it's chill. If you're already a regular at one, you think you can get the job, you know enough about video games, and you like the people that work there already, and then maybe that is a good solution. But again, remember, this is a temporary thing. This company is dying. It's dying. They sold their mobile company for $600 million. At the end of the year, they were in debt $600 million. They didn't even break even after they sold that company. They were $1.2 billion in debt. They sold the company and wound up only $600 million in debt. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is not good. Stocks keep dropping. The world is becoming more digital, and GameStop cannot adapt to that. It's an unfortunate reality that more and more people are buying digital games, and less people are buying used copies of games because there's just not the financial reason. There's no driving force. There's no benefit to the consumer or the customer. So it's just, as a business model, GameStop will cease to exist. And I don't want to sound like a downer, because really working there was definitely not not a terrible experience. It wasn't. I know I've made lots of videos about how awful some aspects were, but overall, working at GameStop, compared to the Chinese restaurant, compared to Walmart, so much better. So much better. I got paid way more at Walmart, but it's just the atmosphere of GameStop was better. But that's because I was also at a chill store. So like I said, if you know what your store is like, if you know what it's like while you're there, is going to be pretty much what it's like working there. If you don't feel great even being there, you're not going to enjoy working there. If it feels crowded, if it feels messy, if the employees don't seem very happy, you don't want to work there. And that kind of goes with any job. Even if you're looking to work at a fast food restaurant, even if you're looking to work at some other retail place, it's huge. You can tell a lot about a company and a location by how the employees feel, and really the normal customers that come in. You can definitely tell. If you start going to these GameStops more and more often, you're going to see who the normal customer base is. And they vary widely with GameStop. Some GameStops have a usual customer base of cool people. Some of them, they're rushing in and rushing out. Those are usually the mall ones. And then, of course, there's the sketchy customer base in not so great parts of town where you can tell they've stolen these items and they're selling them for drugs. It's what happens at GameStop. It's like a pawn shop, but slightly classier. So if you're still looking to get a job at GameStop, good luck. And I hope this video helped a little bit at least. If you have any tips of your own, definitely throw them in the comments. Let me know if you're one of those people that wants to work at GameStop. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. GameStop was one of those places that I have a lot of fond memories of and a lot of bad memories of. And it's definitely just middle of the road job, really. If you're worried about money, it's definitely not the job for you. But if you just need money to get by, like a little bit, like you don't have to worry about paying a huge amount of rent, you don't have to worry about paying off a huge car payment or anything like that, I'm sure it's fine. If you're in high school, GameStop is a great job, really. It gives you more skills when it comes to selling. It helps you open up to the general public a bit more. I already had practice through the Chinese food restaurant, but I definitely perfected my social skills when it came to the general public when I was at GameStop. And if you've got a cool group of people, it makes even a busy store tolerable, for sure. So it really depends on management. Management is such a huge thing. Management and your other coworkers are just such a huge part of the job experience. So that's why I recommend you become a regular at your local GameStop if you want to work there. Otherwise, I mean, just keep shopping literally everywhere else.